Hey, Steve Gamache here for Chef Knives to Go with another quick look product review. And what we have this time is the Daovua 52100 Gyuto 210mm knife. So this line of knives uses 52100 full carbon reactive, reactive high carbon steel. Heat treats on that doesn't say, but it's probably around 60, I would guess. So they imported some 52100 steel to give themselves something different to work with, and it is showing up in their work as, at least the three I've got, definitely have thinner at the edge, thinner grinds than previously. So they've done a nice job with the steel that they've acquired. And these are definitely on the rustic side. They're inexpensive, which also means these are great knives to learn how to sharpen with, because you're not too worried about doing anything to an expensive knife when you're learning. And so, not that you can really screw up a knife that bad. A lot of people freak out when they learn to sharpen, but it's a great line of knives to do that with and then experiment with. This particular knife and they're going to vary a little bit from knife to knife, but I believe they're mono steel, which means it's just one hunk of steel that they shape. There's a kind of a seam here on these, but I don't know if that's really a cladding line or not. So I'm just going to take a guess and think they're probably mono steel. The weight and dimensions will vary a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 152 grams or 5.4 ounces. They tend to put different handles on their knives, so depending on what handle they put on, you can have different weights there. The edge length is about 212 millimeters, about 8.3 inches from the tip to the back of the heel. And then the overall length, 360 millimeters, 14.2 inches, tip to end of handle. Spine thickness, I got about 2.3 coming out of the handle above the back of the blade. And then I got about 1.7, so they're fairly thin. And it actually kind of almost thickens up slightly. Well, it dips and then it thickens back up. And again, they've got the grinds are, different on every knife. This particular one, they've thinned it up pretty nicely at the very, very tip, but you can see they've kind of thinned it and then it got thicker again. So I haven't tried this one to see how that's going to go through product, but it is nice and thin at the very tip. And then it's pretty thin at the edge as well. And again, they're getting more high performance in their grinds as they go. Blade height is about 47 millimeters on this one, so it's plenty tall for ground clearance for your fingers. They've got a nice curved choil into the neck here, so the great spot for your fingers for a pinch grip. The handles are a little on the heavy side, so that's going to bring the balance point back a bit. So there's your balance point, which is just behind the choil. From a pinch grip standpoint, it's going to be a little bit handle heavy. If you racket grip, it'll be more neutral. But nice spot for a pinch grip for your finger there. The handles are really cool. Each one has been unique on the three that I have, three different knives in this line. They don't tell you what wood they are, but they're octagonal. They've got three different materials, ferrule, main part, and then this seems to be some kind of metal component in there as well. So three-part handle. Fit and finish is really nice on the handles. They've got a good glue-up job where the tang goes in there. So you got a spacer here. That's the word I was trying to find. You got a metal spacer, at least I think it's metal. But really cool handles. Everyone's going to be a little different. It's almost like a semi-custom handle, honestly. They did a great job with these handles. So again, the only knock on it's a little bit on the heavy side, but it's still really, really cool. So let's do a beauty shot right here. And you can see there's definitely a lot of hammering. You can see hand craftsmanship at work here. And they're all going to be, each one's going to be a little unique. Let's get a close-up of that. So you can definitely see a lot of hammering, some texture there. They've got some screened-in logo and such on there. And then you can see the grind down towards the edge. Here's the left side of the blade. Again, they're all going to be a little different. As I mentioned on the other videos, they've actually polished the spine a bit and got some relief on the corners, and they polished the choil a little bit. So it's very comfortable out of the box. Nice fit and finish. Out of the box edge, I'll give it 4, maybe 4 to 5 out of 10. These definitely could use an edge cleanup out of the box typically. I would say if you don't sharpen and you're going to learn how to sharpen, go ahead and purchase the Chef Knives to Go finish sharpening service, and they'll put a nice edge on this out of the box for you, and then you'll get a good reference point for how sharp the steel might be able to get, what the good edge performs like on the knife, because sometimes the edge will make a big difference on performance on certain knives, and as well as what the edge retention is like. So it gives you a good reference point. It's well worth the money to do that. And then again, if you're learning how to sharpen, that gives you a good point of reference, and then you can take it from there. So here is the edge profile on the cutting board. This one has a bit of a hump right here. They'll vary a bit from edge profile to edge profile, or I should say from knife to knife for the edge profile. But this one has a little bit of a hump there, and you kind of come past that to the heel. I found that on the Gyuto as well, and I actually took that down a little bit, and I tweaked the edge profile a little bit, and I took that bump out on the Gyuto to kind of smooth it out. But what you could definitely do, it's a good project knife for that if you want to do that. The tip actually has a fair amount of belly to it, so you can get pretty doggone high here on a rock. This thing will rock like crazy, no problem at all. Tip draws would be a little problematic because you got to go way up there to do that. But so fairly aggressive belly towards the front half of the blade. You've got a little bump in here which you could tweak if you wanted to smooth that out. But fairly versatile profile. Again, these are great knives to learn how to sharpen with, have something unique that's cool looking, and definitely kind of a conversation thing. So these are pretty cool. So this is the Daovua 52100 Gyuto 210mm knife from Chef Knives to Go.